So what's up, guys? I know these couple videos I've done recently are kind of more just about me, but it's fun to talk about. Maybe somebody else will have a similar opinion, and it's always interesting to see what other people think. Um, I'm going to talk about my favorite genres of metal and why I like them, my least favorite, and why I don't like them. Um, So let's talk about the first genre of metal I really got into, thrash metal. At first, it was all about the chaos and the heaviness, and to me, like something couldn't be too fast or too crazy. Like I just wanted the fastest, craziest thing you could find is what I wanted to listen to, and but then eventually, I started playing guitar. I don't know, somewhere around the age of 13, 14 years old, and I started like appreciating the riffs of stuff more and more, and what was actually going on in the music. And I remember, when I started getting into like Master of Puppets, by the time I got that CD, I was like really starting to appreciate melody. That middle part of Master of Puppets, where it gets clean and has the harmonies, was probably the biggest life changing moment in all of like my life, as far as like, I just realized there's more to just metal than just being heavy. And that was really important. But the reason why I like thrash, it started becoming about the riffs. Like it was all about riffs. It's guitar music. It's strictly for guitar. It pushes limits. It has no boundaries. You could do whatever you want with thrash metal. It could be heavy, complex, simple, melodic. I mean, it was challenging. Like I felt like there was just so many different kinds of riffs that you could hear in thrash metal. It was just, I don't know. It was fun to explore, fun to listen to. It was not boring at all. Now there's some thrash bands that are kind of boring, but for a long time, like it was just an adventure. Um, but that's what I still like to this day. I mean, um, there's some thrash that I like better than others, but I like most of it as long as it's not overly, just noise. Like it's more about being extreme than anything. Like they don't have cool riffs, I probably won't listen to it. But I don't know. But then I got into power metal. It was kind of like this. I started finding power metal bands that really had a lot in common with thrash, like Blind Guardian, and like I guess Iced Earth, you call that power metal. That was kind of a bridge between the thrash and the melodic. But I started discovering stuff like that, and I came for the speed and the intensity, but I stayed for the melody. Like that's kind of what happened. And then I started getting to the point where I didn't really care if it was aggressive. If it was just like fast and had awesome melodies, I liked it. You know what I mean? And by this time, I didn't always have to be fast, but I still liked the speed a lot. Like if something was too slow, I didn't want to listen to it. Like, or if at least it mixed it up, I was more into it. Like, so, and I listened to those are the two genres I listened to the most for years. And then I got into traditional metal, probably, well, not probably, because of power metal. At first, I really wasn't interested in like it took me a little bit of time to completely get into Iron Maiden, stuff like that. I didn't like the kind of clean vocals at first. Heck, even Iced Earth, I had to get used to Matt Barlow a little bit. But when he got mean sounding, I was like, well, that's thrash, like I did. But now it took me some time. But I have, I eventually started listening to that, and I'm like, man, it shares a lot of stuff in common with power metal. It's got the same kind of melodies, and I started picking up on that, started liking it. I started realizing all songs don't have to be fast to be good, and that I don't know. So I started getting into that, and then like Judas Priest and Dio and all that stuff. And then the whole new wave of British heavy metal thing. I remember thinking like, like these thrash bands were listening to this stuff, and that's where a lot of them drew their inspiration from. And so I thought that was cool to explore that. There was just so many new wave of British heavy metal bands, and it's endless. So I just listened to a bunch of that too. Like that was something I started to collect. Um, so that's how I got into traditional metal, and I like it just because it's just good. It's like it's to me, it's like how people get into hard rock, but with more of an edge. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. And I still like that stuff to this day. There's a lot to discover. It still has some energy to it, but it's very musical and melodic. So that's why I like that. Now, there's the styles of metal that I never really got into, though. I remember back in the days of, back to the dark days of dial up, as I talk about, um, and I was listening to, or like going on these websites that were like recommending bands. If you like this band, you'll like this band. And I remember hearing stuff that, like, the guitars, the music was fast, and I thought, that's cool. And then I heard like gutturals, like I heard, like, I was listening to like death metal stuff for the first time, and I remember like Deicide popped up, like Napalm Death popped up, and just random things like that. And I just didn't get into it. Like I was like, the guitars are kind of cool, but that voice is boring. But see, I was coming off of like James Hetfield and stuff like that, like. But I don't know. I just didn't care for it. Like I just thought it was boring, and it didn't do anything for me. And I've never changed. Like that just never changed. Um, I probably could have gotten into it if they had some sort of thrash vocals, but I just thought it was monotone, and just liked I like something more dynamic in the vocals. Like I don't even care about what they're saying. Like that's not even like a factor. Like I don't care what anybody's saying in the song. Like I listen to songs in other languages. I don't even care. But it's just I want to hear something dynamic. I don't know. Maybe if I was like 11 or 12 and he gave me a Deicide CD, maybe I would have thought it was cool. I don't know, but my tastes were already developing, you know what I mean? I was already past, how heavy can you be, like I was kind of exploring the different sides of metal. And then there was black metal. Like that's just something I remember. Just a few kids, like goth kids from school, liked some, and I, the vocals like were kind of like the same, but like the opposite. Instead of being like monotone in a low guttural way, it was monotone in an upper range sort of way. And I'm like, yeah, it's just the same old thing. It just sounds like, just I don't know. And some of the music, even in black metal, it can be cool. They use cool chords and stuff. Like I just don't just the whole package don't quite do it for me. And oh my gosh, I hate blast beats. I never liked them ever. I just thought they sounded dumb. I'm probably going to make some people mad on here, but look, if you're watching my channel, like you're watching it for old school, styles of heavy metal. Like this isn't about death metal and black metal and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously, if I'm not going to talk about it, I'm probably not going to be a big fan of it. But I don't know. I just didn't. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And another genre that I like, but I don't love to death, is doom metal. Don't get me wrong, there's some doom metal bands I really like, but I have always been a speed freak, okay? Like, for somebody who's like totally laid back and calm and could just go take a nap at any moment, I sure did like my speed. Like I don't know why. Maybe that's why I liked it. I needed it. Maybe if something slow, it probably would have made me doze off. But I don't know. Like, I like doom metal bands, doom metal that like isn't so slow it's ridiculous. Like, I like Saint Vitus is one of those ones. They're a little bit too slow. I like them, but they're just a little bit too slow. But like a band like Witchfinder General or Trouble, those bands actually felt more like traditional metal at times, and Candlemass can kind of do that too. Like, they aren't just like totally slow all the time. That's what kind of makes me like them more. But just stuff that's just like you hit a chord and it's just ringing for like 10 minutes. Like, I don't got time for that. Like, just play the next note, please. Like, I don't know. I understand why people like it. I just don't. I don't know. If I can already sit there and I can guess what the next note is, like, I don't know. I can guess what the next note is, and then I can think about what am I going to have for dinner tonight, and then what am I going to do after work. If I have to think about all this, if I could think about all that stuff between notes, like, it's too slow. Like, I don't know. But yeah, those are like, all the main genres of music. And I guess, I don't know. I mean, I like proggy stuff too. That's something that I like. If it's proggy and complex for the sake of being proggy and complex, maybe I won't. But if it's got some substance and it's still memorable, okay, then I'll listen to it. And a lot of things that have technical behind it, like technical this, technical that, that's iffy for me too. I mean, I like things that are technical. When I play some things that are sort of technical, but it has to be memorable. It has to be cool sounding. You know what I mean? It didn't, like, just because you threw 30 notes in one riff doesn't mean it's a better riff. It's like, did you throw 30 notes in that riff to make it sound better, or did you just do it to show off? That's kind of my thing. But that's my take on different genres of heavy metal. And I've never liked like nu metal. Even back when that was popular and I was in high school, I didn't like it. I tried, and I don't even. And look, I don't want to sound like a metal elitist. I just literally don't like it. If you like it, that's fine. I just never did. To me, it felt more like pop than metal, so I just didn't get into it. I don't know, any kind of metal that has the word core behind it, I didn't really get into either. So, metal core, blah blah blah, even like hardcore, I don't know, I just never really got into it. But I don't know, that's just me. Anyway, if you like this video, like, subscribe. Let me hear your favorite genres and stuff, and what genres you hate. And tell me how much of a jerk I am, because I don't like death and black metal that much. But anyway, thanks for watching, and stay metal. Till next time.